In this tutorial, we're going to carry out a very simple exercise to demonstrate the workflow from 2 dimensions to 3 dimensions in Fusion 360. We'll sketch a simple 2D model of a rectangle using lines and constraints. We'll add dimensions to the 2D rectangle, and then we'll sketch another simple 2D model using Fusion's Center Rectangle tool. After completing this tutorial, you'll be able to use Fusion 360 to sketch and edit simple 2D CAD models using simple parametric tools such as lines, rectangles, and constraints. So let's first save the model we were previously working on. To do that, go to the toolbar, click Save, and then click OK. To begin, we need to click File, New Design. We can have multiple files open in Fusion, and we can click through them using the tabs here at the top. Note our new design currently has no sketches, no bodies, no components, and no assemblies. But as we work through the exercise, we'll see some of these elements appearing in the browser. So to create our 2-dimensional sketch, in the toolbar we click Sketch, Create Sketch, and then we need to select one of these 3 work planes to work on. I'm going to click and select the ground plane. When we enter the sketch environment, like we are now, the sketch palette will automatically pop up. We have a number of options in the sketch palette, such as a snap tool. We also have a number of constraints that we can apply to our sketches. For this simple exercise, we're going to sketch a simple rectangle, first using 4 lines. In the toolbar, I'll click Sketch, Line. I click to place the first point for the line. I'll allow it to snap to grid horizontally at 40 mm, then click to place the second point. The remainder 3 lines I'm going to sketch randomly at different angles and different lengths, but I make sure that I finish the 4th line on the first point of the first line that I sketched. Now you'll note that the shape that I've sketched is shaded. This indicates that we now have an enclosed shape. In Fusion, with an enclosed shape, we can do a number of things. For example, we can extrude this shape to create a new form, a new body. In the sketch palette, we can use the constraints to reconfigure our shape and apply geometry. I can use the perpendicular tool, for example, to create a right angle. So if I click the top line and then the right hand line, I've now applied a perpendicular constraint to my shape, and we can see this with the perpendicular symbol in the top right hand corner. I can do the same with this line, and again we can see the perpendicular symbol. Additionally, I can create parallel lines. So if I select the parallel tool, and then select the top line and the bottom line, I can make those 2 lines parallel to each other. And this is indicated by the parallel symbol on each of the lines. If we go to the browser, we can see that we now have sketches. And if we expand the sketches, we can see that we have our new sketch. I can toggle on and off the visibility of the sketch by clicking the light bulb. I can also specify the dimensions of my sketch. If I go to the toolbar, click Sketch, Sketch Dimension, click the top line and the bottom line, then drag to the right, click again, I can see the dimension and I can also enter my own value for a new dimension. Press Return, and the distance between the top line and the bottom line is now the value that I've entered, 50 mm. With the tool still selected, I can do the same for these 2 edges. Enter 50 mm, press Return, and we now have a square with 4 50 mm edges. And when we've finished, in the toolbar, click Stop Sketch. There is also another way to sketch squares and rectangles, which is perhaps slightly simpler. Go to the toolbar, select Sketch, Create Sketch. Again, let's select the ground plane to work on. Then in the toolbar again, select Sketch, Rectangle. We can choose from 2-point rectangle, 3-point rectangle, or center rectangle. Select Center Rectangle, then click once on the canvas to place the center point and drag out. We can drag our rectangle out into whatever dimensions we wish, or we can enter the dimensions directly. So let's enter 50 mm, tab on the keyboard, enter 50 mm again, then press Return on the keyboard. If we need to edit these measurements, all we need to do is double click on the measurement, enter a new dimension, then press Return on the keyboard. And if we look to the browser, we can see our second sketch, and we can identify our sketches either by name or by toggling on and off the visibility of the sketch. And if we've finished, we click Stop Sketch. And this completes this tutorial. In the next Fusion tutorial, we'll turn the two-dimensional sketch into a three-dimensional model. We'll also make some edits, such as removing material and adding some fillets, some rounded edges to the top corners.